Hello, everyone. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. You might have already noticed, I'm not your usual narrator. Uh, Anon said he was busy and he asked me if I could do the main narration of this episode, but he didn't give me a script to go off of. I guess this is a good opportunity to talk about how we do these episodes. As you know from the first two episodes, Anon and I met online, and we've been recording these episodes over phone call. He basically was just asking me to voice over the text I sent, so I don't have much practice with the long monologues that he does. I never really thought about how he does those, like, how he scripts it all, I mean. We've done a lot of research on, the the whole point of this episode. Sorry, I'm just a little bit nervous. Okay, back on track. I guess I'm just talking about Isaac and his dad. I'm just gonna wing it. Let me look at our notes again. Okay. My name is Kat, and I hope you enjoy episode 3 of Secrets of Seaford. Oh my god. What the hell? He was a monster. Isaac Slacks, the pride and joy of the Seaford High School football team, the son of Mayor Slacks and my ex-friend Rachel's awful boyfriend. I personally was able to get a lot of information about him through Rachel. We're neighbors and we're friends when we were younger. So when Mary and I got into a fight, she was the only person I thought to go to. Anyways, she likes talking, especially about her boyfriend Isaac. Isaac's family is a long line of mayors, his father being the current one, and his father's father being one, and so on and so forth. Isaac, however, does not want to be a mayor. He finds it boring and tedious. But he does absolutely love being in the spotlight. He centered his whole personality around being the top dog in high school, just like his father. He would just rather pursue football over politics. As much as his father believes it's just a phase and then he'll get over it, Rachel says Isaac was very adamant about sticking with football. Although his father would rather he doesn't, he does know that being the star football player anywhere looks good, especially to the local public. Honestly, the whole Slacks family has a bit of an issue with public image. They have this weird obsession with being perceived positively by the general public, even if it means hurting others to keep their dirty little secrets hidden. Anon and I did discuss some about Isaac after the second episode was released. He mostly did some digging on Isaac's father and left Isaac himself to me.
What all do you know about Isaac?
Honestly, too much. Rachel used to talk about him a lot. I wouldn't know where to start.
You can just start talking, and I'll do my best to take notes about the important stuff.
Oh, I definitely remember her saying something about his dad having some big secret.
I'll definitely try to look into that more. I never liked him. Something always seemed off about him.
My parents always liked him as a mayor. They've always been super conservative.
By the way, I had to pick up a double, so I won't have time this week to do the longer parts of the episode. If you could do them for me, that would be great.
Yeah, I can do that, but don't expect anything great. One thing Rachel mentioned a lot was how jealous Isaac would get about everything. Not just about other guys, but with anything he didn't have. Like some form of sickening greed. He would do anything in his power to get what he wanted. Growing up as the mayor's son, he developed a sense of entitlement that only got worse when he was given the freedom to make his own decisions. It started small, with keeping him on the football team when his grades were dropping. Though it's not like he had to do anything for most of his classes because all of his teachers would mysteriously get a nice bonus in their pockets. Even as far as the girl he's dating. There was a rumor, around the time they got together, that he was making sure that no other guys would ask her out before he got a chance. Rachel denies it, but I wouldn't put it past him. He alone had so much influence and he knew it, using it to his advantage any chance that he got, including putting down the one girl he wanted but could never have. That's right, Isaac is the person who started the rumor that led to Mary's death. He just wanted to put her down because he couldn't have her. He didn't care if it was because of him or her. He was just going to make it her problem to deal with. He couldn't fathom the idea of someone not liking him, so he created a rumor that she did. And not just that she liked him, but that she was actively trying to seduce him and break up his relationship. This is not the only thing. Isaac also has a weird obsession with getting other people to fight. He feeds his power complex by scheming and manipulating people into fighting. Didn't matter who it was. His friends, classmates, enemies, teachers, parents, even strangers on the street. Granted, he wasn't always successful, but that didn't stop him from trying. So when he saw that the rumor he'd started about Mary had gotten his girlfriend understandably upset, he played into it, and he knew exactly what to say. It was probably helpful that Mary wasn't a very social girl, keeping to herself for the most part, so she not only didn't know about the rumor, but also wasn't the type to stand up and defend herself. She wasn't scared or weak, she just didn't care much about what other people thought, especially if it was something she knew for a fact that it wasn't true. Regardless, Isaac knew what he was capable of, how to control the situation and the results that he wanted. Though I really doubt he was expecting anything near what ended up happening. After it happened, we were only out of school for a day. I'm pretty sure it was just so they could clean everything, wipe the cameras, get their story straight, whatever. But the astonishingly short time the school was closed for the death of a student in the school meant that once we got back, I had a front row seat to see them crumble with the reality of what they'd done. But for some reason, they were fine, smiling and laughing as if they hadn't just killed a girl 2 days ago. Rachel was the only one that actually seemed to care, or at least I assumed, since I wouldn't see her till graduation. I know Anon mentioned a video of the twins talking about their dad letting them get away with stuff, but I had first-hand experience, seeing and hearing them joking about being able to do whatever they wanted, because between Isaac and the twins, their dads were the chief of police and the mayor of Seaford. As much of an asshole as Isaac is, he is smart. He knew what he was doing. So if I had to guess, he was only friends with the twins because their father is the chief of police. Sorry. I don't mean to rant. I just really wish they wouldn't be allowed to get away with what they did.
Have you looked at the news recently?
No? I'm in the middle of recording. What's up?
Donnie and Brandon were found dead an hour ago.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
They haven't released any details, but someone found their bodies in the water at Concord Pond. They did say the bodies had been excessively brutalized.
Like they'd been beaten up or something?
The bodies had been cut up, run over, and their eyes gouged out, and then were thrown into the water. I just went on break and saw the forum blowing up about it.
I'm gonna need a minute. I don't know if I'll be able to finish the episode tonight.
How much of it have you gotten done?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I talked about Isaac a lot, though. I think I covered everything about him, at least.
Alright, take your time. I think I should have enough time to pick up the last half.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to go. It'll probably be in the episode when we voice over our text later. Anon said he'll finish the episode, though. I'm sorry.
Hello everyone, Anon here again. As of recording this, I've gotten more information about what happened to Donnie and Brandon. The assessment of the bodies concluded that they were murdered. The injuries present on their bodies were determined to be intentional as they were identical on either twin. Small trigger warning for gore. As I said before, the injuries were consistent across both bodies, so I will just say them once. Their arms, legs, and ribs had been crushed. There were tire marks across each of their limbs, appearing as if they had been driven over several times. An oddly specific 13 lacerations on their chests. Cuts just deep enough not to kill, but to cause as much harm as possible. Possibly the most gruesome part was that their eyes had been gouged out before the bodies were presumably disposed of into Concord Pond, where they would later be found at the boat launch. The autopsy showed that even with everything that had happened, the thing that ultimately killed them was drowning in the pond. When the news got out, the forum was more active in the few hours after than it had been since its creation. Some people were celebrating, some people were sharing their theories about who could have done it, and some people had come to share more stories about what they had done that were not previously on the forum. After the initial chaos had died down, most people had agreed that whoever did kill the twins had to have been someone who was at least aware of the forum, as the injuries appeared to line up with the top few posts. As of now, however, the police have not made any announcements about possible suspects. Now that I've caught you all up on the past few nights, we can get back to the main topic of this episode. Since Kat already talked about Isaac, I will talk about his father. Isaac's father's history is just as damning and makes everything click a bit more as to why these things happened. Another quick trigger warning. When he was in college, about 18 or 19, he was just as popular as Isaac is now. He was athletic and smart, and just as much of an asshole as his son. Using his good standing with the community, he decided to pick up a few gigs babysitting. Not to be nice and help out, or even for the money, but just to throw parties or invite girls over for the night. One night, he ends up at the old Hargreaves house, babysitting Mary Duncan's mother at the age of 12. Any normal night, he would have sent the kid to bed and invited whoever over. This night, however, he would get stood up, and as we know, the Slacks family are not ones to take rejection lightly. So he decided to raid the liquor cabinet for whatever he could find, eventually getting belligerently drunk. Around this time, a young Miss Hargreaves would make her way down for a midnight snack, only to find her babysitter shit-faced on the couch. Her snack venture getting his attention, he started to take his anger out on her, deciding that he was going to get what he wanted one way or another. I don't think I have to explain the following events, but as we've seen, nothing would happen, and the Slacks family would do whatever they could to keep it hidden, including covering up the eventual deaths of Mr. and Mrs. Duncan, when Donnie and Brandon would run them off the road into the pond in a drunken hit and run. Now, Isaac's father is just as bad with his affair with Rachel's mother. Speaking of which, our next episode will be about Rachel and how she ended up being the one pushing Mary over the edge. And a special thanks to Lay Figure for the intro music for this episode. This podcast is licensed under the CC BY NC SA 4.0 license.